Anime over the years, even that, like as an anime fan, you may not be exposed to certain series depending on the region that you live in, and
Hmm.
now that's not even a thing. Like
Not a problem anymore.
even if you don't know if an anime is coming out, you'll have an AniTuber who's has full access and they'll tell you about it.
Yeah,
It's crazy the reach we have.
yeah, it's really blown up. Like, I didn't realize how. I guess I knew it was blowing up, but I didn't realize how it blew up until like I don't have TikTok, but my girlfriend does. And when she was like, when I was just looking through it and I just seeing how much like content is on there for anime, I was like, wow, it really has blown up, especially during like quarantine. I was like, yeah, anime is becoming like super mainstream. It's crazy.
It's wild, bro. I grew up with anime my entire life, and just
Yeah.
to see how much it's grown within like the last 10 years and the last 2 years especially,
Hmm.
everyone's a fan of anime now. Like
Yeah.
everyone loves it. Everyone knows the series. Everyone's watching. Everyone's coming
Yeah.
back to watch old series. It's I never would have guessed it would have gotten this big.
No, I always thought it was somewhat kind of be a niche, and I guess it probably still will be. Like I can't see it becoming like how Marvel, like the MCU is so big now. I mean, that's I guess it's possible. I know when you're a kid, I didn't get like severely bullied for it, but like you got called a nerd for that kind of stuff. So it's cool now. I guess a lot of nerd culture is just kind of blowing up now. I mean, video games are like that's like second nature. Everybody plays video games now.
True say, I remember coming to school with like my special edition like Pikachu Yellow,
Hmm.
Game Boy Color,
Oh,
and
okay.
some kid saw that and he's like,
You like Pokemon?
and I'm like, yeah, I'm like 8. I don't really.
That's what always it's like I knew these kids. There's no way they weren't liking this stuff at home too. Like I knew some. I came to like I think it was fifth grade. Came to recess like one time with some Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and a kid was like, "You like Yu-Gi-Oh?" I'm like, "How do you not?" Like it confused the shit. We're like 8 years old and shit. Like what? What do you do at home? Like
Exactly, and I like that that attitude has shifted. Like I have a
yeah,
couple
yeah.
nephews that are like 12 or 11 or something like
Mhm.
that, and they watch like Darling in the Franxx and all these weird anime. So
That's crazy. That's
it's
awesome though.
it's why, and they're open about it. Like they'll be talking
Yeah,
about it as if like I'm talking about sports. So like I love
yeah,
to see it, but when I was their age, there was no way in hell I could find 5 other people to sit down and talk about like what JoJo episode came out. It's
yeah.
not even a thought, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. No,
Crazy.
yeah, I feel you exactly on that. But yeah, I'm just glad more people are liking it now. I'm glad it's like, has a wider reach. Yeah, less people get bullied, hopefully.
Absolutely. That's something I really want to see as well. Like, I personally think that anime may get to the point where it may be very mainstream to the point
Oh,
where
okay.
it starts getting mainstream accolades. I
Yeah,
think it will take a lot for it to get to that, but I'm sure we can talk about that a little bit later on.
yeah, yeah.
What shows did you really like a lot, whether they were anime, cartoons, or
Uh,
otherwise?
I mean, a lot. I watched a lot of stuff. So like, I mean, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, Pokemon, uh, most of the things on Cartoon Network. So Samurai Jack, Powerpuff Girls, Courage the Cowardly Dog, all that stuff. Ed and Eddie. Ed and Eddie was huge for me. I love that show. I want to use more of their sound effects because like Ed and Eddie's sound effects are like ridiculous. It's hilarious. So yeah, those. Um, I liked Cowboy Bebop, but those are one of those shows that like it's kind of hard to like get it or understand it until you're like older. Like when I first watched it, I liked it. I was like, but it's like a lot of people. Like I feel like a lot of people would say Cowboy Bebop's pretty boring, but I feel like it's because they're younger. When you watch it, like as you get older and you rewatch it, you feel something different from it every time. At least I feel.
What about now? Do you find your viewing habits for anime to be reflective of what you were watching when you were younger?
I mean, much different. Like when I was a kid, I mainly watched shonen, mainly shonen, and as I got older, it was just like it got progressively like more mature and like dark. Not that shonen isn't mature, but that's like mostly what I watched. And I became like I was a pretty big uh like a toxic Dragon Ball fan as a kid, like the worst of the kind. Like that's there's a story for that I'll talk about on the channel. But I was terrible. I was a terrible Dragon Ball kid. But yeah, not like that anymore. Now I just like I like go back and I like to like watch a lot of the stuff from like the 70s, 80s. So yeah, it's changed quite a bit.
I guess that's a good place to segue then. I have a lot of trouble with a lot of newer anime fans talking about their appreciation of anime because for a lot of them they won't go back to older anime. When you look at people like us who we were watching it when anime really can only be found in video stores as OVAs, or you can find it on whatever Cartoon Network or YTV would basically show us, it was very confined what we could consume. Now it's so easy for a fan to watch literally anything that has ever come out ever in the highest quality. It's so convenient. But I also find that it really does take away the experience of an anime fan. Back then, we would go and seek out anime from the 90s and 80s, and we didn't mind watching Akira. We didn't mind watching Escaflowne because those series were good. We liked them for what they were. Now, a lot of anime fans, they don't appreciate the amazing 90s art style or the tonality of the 80s kind of anime. If it's not within the last 5 to 7 years of anime, maybe 10, then they have no interest in exploring it. And it's crazy to see that.
Yeah, it is. It's something I worry about, especially with like now is like people will consider anime to be very trendy at the moment, which is where you get fans like that just mainly watch whatever's like popping off, whatever's more popular. It's something that's always kind of happened. Like as you've grown up with anime, like when Attack on Titan blew up, you had people who just watched Attack on Titan or just watched Sword Art Online or just watched anime that were blowing up. It really didn't hit me though until like someone posted like an Instagram with like a poll, and it was like Yu Yu Hakusho versus Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm thinking Yu Yu Hakusho because I'm fucking cultured, and then like Yu Yu Hakusho is like 26%, and the rest is just Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm like mind blown. Like they could have not seen the show. It tripped me out, man. It tripped me out.
Yeah, it gets to me. And like here's the thing, like I don't want to be an old man, an old
Yeah.
otaku, or like shit on people's opinions and what they like
Yeah.
with anime, but like as much as like I can tolerate JJK,
Mhm.
just to see like JJK, SAO, all of these series, AOT, they get the shine that they do, but like you see it reflective on like any Twitter, you see it reflective on some Discords. Anime fans just refuse to go back. Like Bleach will be the furthest thing that they'll go back to, and like they put those series on such high pedestals, and you don't tear away those opinions and those views on those series by watching other shows, but it makes you appreciate anime more.
Yeah.
A lot of these newer anime fans, they're never going to put in that legwork though. It makes me wonder about the future of anime.
Yeah, I guess that's the whole like kind of pros and cons of something becoming mainstream. I mean, you're always gonna have people that aren't gonna appreciate it to the max, or they will go back. But overall, I still think it's mostly a good thing, just because even if you're gonna get those people who are just gonna watch whatever's popping off, I think no matter what, you're always gonna get a few more people who will go back, who will appreciate the art form. I think that's what matters to me. I really want just anime to be loved by a lot more people, because for a while it's always been like, either you can't watch cartoons, you're an adult, all this stuff. And it's like I feel like with it becoming more popular, more people will actually understand it more and give it more of a chance. That's all I really want.